Last time, you saw the sirens and the SWAT teams. Our California dream hadn't just curdled, it had turned into a crime scene. But deciding to leave is the easy part. Actually pulling it off without losing your shirt, your mind, or your luggage on the side of I-40, that's where the real story begins. And I need you to understand this. The final decision was made to move. This wasn't a knee-jerk reaction. This wasn't one bad day, and we bailed. This was careful consideration, late-night conversations, quiet moments where you look at your kids and think, what does life look like for them if we stay? We had one rule: no job, no move. We first had to find a job before we could move. We did not want to move first and then find work. I was looking for remote jobs and in-person jobs in Tennessee, and I was applying to any job that I was qualified for, remote or local. I used every trick I knew to get attention to my resume. I mentioned we bought a home and are moving to Nashville, Tennessee. I also made sure to mention moving expenses are covered because I didn't want employers to pass just because they thought I would be expensive to bring on. I also mentioned we were moving in the summer but would relocate early if needed. I gave reasons for moving: a better life for my kids, taking a leap of faith in life. I wanted employers to see this was thoughtful and real, and I wanted it to be obvious. This wasn't panic. This was a plan. Trying to find a salary range was difficult. I did not want to overshoot or undershoot because California is different from Tennessee. It felt like guessing a number, where being wrong in either direction could cost you the opportunity. While I was grinding, my wife was on her own timeline. Teachers are hired in the spring and early summer, so we were on a tight timeline. Plus, we did not want to pull our kids out of school in the middle of the school year. My wife is a teacher, so she flew out to Tennessee a couple of times to various district job fairs. At the same time, I'm helping with cover letters, trying to make sure the seriousness comes through, because we weren't casually exploring. We were committed. A month into the job search, I got the call. I was being offered a work-from-home job. I took a 30% salary cut, but it was enough to get us out of California. We celebrated because that was the first real milestone. Now the timeline got intense. We had 2 weeks to get into contract with a 30-day close and then use the proceeds for a down payment on a house in Tennessee. Selling the house was wild, but it was the COVID market. Rates were around 3%, and there was huge demand. I was not concerned about selling the house. I needed to find an asking price. That was not through the roof, but also did not shortchange us. After the first open house weekend, we received an offer that was over $200,000 over asking. We were in contract with no contingencies. You could do that back then. That's how high the demand was. With COVID still raging and not wanting to get sick, we hired a Tennessee agent that one of my friends uses. Then we started doing FaceTime tours. We had 2 weeks to place an offer and close before school started during the first week of August. And while we were looking, my wife was still looking for a teaching job. We were on the phone with our agent every night, FaceTime tour after FaceTime tour. And then we realized Tennessee was moving even faster than we expected. Homes listed at $600,000 were selling for $900,000 and getting taken down within hours. We realized if we liked a house, we had to decide immediately, put in our best offer, no games, because the alternative was renting. When we arrived, we wanted to buy and be done with the transition. We finally found the house we fell in love with. We put our strongest offer on it, no contingencies, buy as is. After a day, they accepted our offer. Later, we learned the sellers had 38 offers, and we were the strongest offer. By a little, I felt like I overpaid, until I found out we barely squeaked by. Then I felt better about it. As things progressed, we stayed on track to be settled into our new house by middle of July. And then my wife got the call. She got the job at the school she wanted. The plan was coming together. We had very tight windows: buying, selling, and one of us scoring a job. This really could have only happened in that crazy market. If this was happening today, it would have been harder because houses are staying on the market longer. Our original goal was to move all of our stuff across the country. Then we learned Renting a moving truck was going to $10,000. I realized a lot of our furniture was worn, and it wasn't worth it. That's when we found Costco white glove service. We could buy furniture online, and they would deliver and install it for weeks. We were on the website, and we ended up spending about $15,000 on new furniture like beds and couches, scheduling the delivery for our move-in date. For everything we actually needed to keep, we rented a pod. We decluttered, loaded what mattered, and pods moved it to storage. When we were ready, they transferred it across country and delivered it to our new house at the right time. And anything we didn't put in the pods had to fit in the 2 cars. If it didn't fit, it wasn't coming. The last day before we handed the keys to the new owners, my family took a flight to Nashville. My friend and I drove the 2 cars across the country on Highway 40. Can anyone say road trip? Right before we started driving, we mapped out where we wanted to stay for the 3-day journey: Needles, California, and Amarillo. And as we start driving through the desert landscape of Southern California, I couldn't help feeling sad. This is the state I was born in, raised in, started raising my kids in, and I'm leaving it behind. It reminded me of that Terminator 2 scene where Sarah Connor is driving through the desert, reflecting on the future. I don't mean to say my life is a movie, but the feeling in that moment was real. Once I regrouped, I started noticing things I'd never really seen in person before. Volcanic rocks across the desert, the airplane graveyard, Joshua trees. It felt like this huge landscape I'd known existed my whole life, but I was finally really seeing it because I was leaving. We pulled into Needles at sunset. It was 95 degrees outside in June. In the lobby, there was a handyman working on an AC unit. When I got to my room, it wasn't cleaned. The sheets weren't made. Then I hear loud talking and rowdy people. And I'm thinking, my cars are packed with important documents and family heirlooms. I called my friend and said, "We need to get out of here." I didn't want to wake up to smashed windows and stolen stuff. So we left without checking out. I didn't care about the money. I just wanted to get to Tennessee. As we crossed the Arizona border and head toward Flagstaff, there were truckers flying down the road. If you tried to pass, you'd get horns and tailgating. It was intense, and honestly, it was so ridiculous. You almost had to laugh. We finally pulled into Flagstaff around 1 in the morning and found a hotel vacancy. This one felt cleaner, quieter, and a lot safer. That morning, I was surprised to see pine trees all over Flagstaff, a mountain hybrid desert place, something I wasn't expecting. We saw signs for Meteor Crater Natural Landmark and decided to stop. I learned it's privately owned by the Barringer family. Can you imagine owning land and realizing a massive impact crater from space is yours? The size amazed me. It reminded me of Diamond Head in Hawaii. In Albuquerque, my back was hurting, and I was stir-crazy. I pulled up Google, and the tourist options included museums, gardens, tramways, and Walter White's house. I'm not joking. We decided to go because we're fans of the show. And I didn't even know it was local. The reviews warned the owner would shoo people away. And yeah, they weren't exaggerating. There's a fence, no trespassing signs, and she was not interested in tourists. We got our pictures and headed to Amarillo. As we transitioned from the desert to the Great Plains, we saw a thunderstorm in the distance. Coming from California, thunderstorms are rare, but this was the most lightning I'd ever seen. It was impressive, and it also made me realize storms are just part of life out here. They do not bug me, but you do need to seek shelter if there is an active storm. Amarillo was uneventful, which was a nice change. The next morning, we drove through Oklahoma, then into Arkansas. It's truly amazing how the landscape goes from desert to Great Plains, and then suddenly everything turns green. The transition happens when you're not paying attention. During the long drive, we come up to Memphis and make our way across the Mississippi River. As we drive through Memphis, the highway is completely torn up with potholes and rough asphalt. I know California is known for its bad freeways, but this was ridiculous. We continued to drive up Highway 40 to Nashville. at 1 in the morning after 14 hours. We finally made it to our overnight stay. I slept in until 9 in the morning, and my family was already at the new house. The new house I purchased from across the country and never seen before in person, only on FaceTime and pictures. As I make my way to the house, I became really nervous. I wondered if we made the right purchase. I knew it was a beautiful house and only a few years old, but we could not do inspections. The house was in a private community, and I did not know there were privacy gates. So I pull up, and I'm staring at this gate, thinking, what else do I not know? The gate opens. I go through and make my first left to see the house for the first time. And I realized I bought off more than I can chew. My California house was 1,400 square feet. This was 4,000 square feet. I wanted the big house and the manicured yard. But once it was real, all I could think was, how am I going to maintain this? Cleaning, yard work. Do we even have enough furniture? I literally drove up and sat there for 10 minutes, taking it in, realizing my next chapter of my life is about to begin. And then I noticed something that did not show up on FaceTime. In the next video, I will explain how we settled in and what problems were lurking in the house. See you in the next one.